Very good morning to you. You're watching the Channel M Breakfast Show on Wednesday, the 1st of April. I'm Michelle Eagleton.
And I'm Byron the Fool Evans. And celebrating April Fool's Day, looking back at some of the traditions of why this became such a big deal around the world. Doing a bit of research, found out that one of the earliest traditions of celebrating April Fool started back in 1582, when the calendar was changed to the Gregorian calendar by Pope Dave or Keith at the time. Basically, at that time, it took years for word to spread of changes, so it could be several years before people in France realised that the actual calendar could change to the Gregorian calendar. Some people dug their heels in, though, and wanted to celebrate it as they had done for generations, from March the 25th until April the 1st. Obviously, Gregorian calendar means the new year starts in January. So, the people who still celebrated in April, or at the end of March, were considered to be foolish, sent on fool's errands and April Fools.
Yes, and April Fool's Day only lasts, actually, not the full day, until midday. So make sure that you get your April Fool jokes in quickly. Otherwise, people can say to you, April Fool's Day is past and gone, you're the fool and I am none. Make that a note.
Hey, I like that. Yeah, we've been having a bit of a gig on this morning show. We've played a couple of pranks, for example, square sausage rolls. We've also had, well, disabled swimming lessons for dogs, which was... And Bunny from Manchester really liked that. And maybe we could show the dog again. There we go.
Oh, bless.
They tried to trick me with that one. I think the cold waters has affected the dog's eyes a little bit. I don't think I've ever seen such a startled Great Dane.
You did actually fall for that, Byron.
I did, yes. I also fell for the fact that you've been taken on permanently and you'll be here forever. In a few minutes, we've got all the latest sporting headlines, plus some great tips if you're a golfer. But first, let's get the latest news with James.
I'm off.
Good morning. These are the stories you're waking up to so far this Wednesday. The latest school league tables show big improvements at primary schools right across Greater Manchester. Figures show they're doing better than ever before in English, maths and science, with standards increasing in each of our 10 boroughs. There are particular celebrations at one school in Staley Bridge. Millbrook Primary has been named one of the best in the country at helping pupils achieve more than was previously expected.
It's about the value that you put on the child, but where they come in and where you take them to, and how much they've improved within that time. It's about sort of levels that they are at the very beginning when they start school, and the value you add to them as they go through the school.
Yeah, our school's been doing really well lately, and one of the reasons for that is because our teachers are always helping us, and they're giving us ideas and facts on how to learn.
Police are looking for two men who raped a teenager in Harper Hay early yesterday morning. The 17-year-old was dragged into bushes as she was walking across a bridge on Thorpe Road. The offenders were part of a gang of 5 who approached her on bicycles. Salford Council is starting a case against 2 firms that run cigarette vending machines that could lead to them being completely banned. Officials are arguing the companies don't do enough to stop under-18s using them. In a similar case, Lancashire County Council is also taking action against 3 firms. The cases will be heard next month. An advert designed to stop parents smoking has been banned from TV before 7:30 because it's scaring children. The campaign features youngsters saying what they're not scared of before admitting they're worried their mum or dad could die because they smoke. 51 complaints have been made about it, more than half saying it had left children distressed. Gordon Brown will hold talks with Barack Obama at Downing Street later. The American president arrived here for the G20 summit, which will be looking at ways of rescuing the world's economy. He was given a warm welcome as he touched down in Air Force One last night. And massive security operations kicking in across London ahead of the summit over fears it could be disrupted by demonstrators. Workers in the capital's financial district have been told to dress down and stay at home to avoid provoking a reaction. It's a case of splash and no cash at many swimming pools from this morning. More than 1,000 across the country are now offering sessions for free to people over 60 and under 16. We've been to Wigan to see how the idea is going down there, where it's free for everyone.
Well, we're here to launch the initiative of free swimming for everyone in Wigan Borough. We're taking advantage of the money that the government's giving us to fund free swimming for under 16s and over 60s, which we already provide in Wigan. We've done that for several years. We're going to use that with support from our primary care trust to make sure swimming is available for everyone.
Swimming is really important because it's fun, it keeps people fit. You can do it whatever age you are, and you can do it in families. So it makes taking physical activity and exercise not seem such a chore. It's actually fun and available, and it's, of course, it's going to be free for everybody in Wigan.
A promising young sailor from Rochdale has saved the lives of 4 strangers after his death, thanks to his parents remembering a chance conversation with him. Jamie Moran, who was 16, died after a car crashed into him while he was cycling on his paper round. The junior world champion was tipped for success at the 2012 Olympics. His parents have now revealed how he donated 4 organs for life-saving operations, including one to a 14-year-old girl. They'd recalled him saying he agreed with organ donation after watching a programme on TV about it. Soldiers have taken time out from training for Afghanistan to help children at a school here in Greater Manchester learn emergency life-saving skills. Pupils from St James's Church of England Primary drafted in the medics for their Health Week.
I've come to St James's School with a team to give a static display and do some basic first aid with them. The first aid will include airway management and some basic bandaging skills, as well as showing them around our ambulance that we brought here, along with some of our other equipment. It'll be a brother, a sister, a mum or a dad in the home, and all of a sudden they're in that unfortunate situation. You hear about it on the television a lot, and they'll hopefully be able to deal with that.
If they're not like breathing, you have to check in the mouth and see if there's anything inside. You go like that, right, and you squeeze them in the middle of the chest 15 times.
Got to blow into the mouth and then hopefully they'll come back.
Goodness me, they've learnt all sorts. Apart from looking at the ambulance and the soldiers, they've learnt that the soldiers are not always just fighting, they're there in a support role. They're learning the sorts of things that are in the ambulance, they're learning about resuscitation, they're learning about bandaging, and it's just giving the children an opportunity of some real experiences.
That's it from me for this morning. I'll be back at 12 noon with the Channel M lunchtime news, and you can join Andy Crane from 5 tonight for all the latest headlines as well. Now, though, here's Byron and Mike with the sport.
Now, we're all fully aware what day it is, but is there some tomfoolery going on up at St James's Park?
I don't think it's tomfoolery, as you say. I think we can confirm Alan Shearer will become Newcastle's 4th manager of the season after Keegan Kinnear and Chrissy Hewton, who's taken the famous black and whites into the bottom 3. Shearer, 38 years of age, he's been critical of Mike Ashley's regime, but it looks like he will be confirmed as manager later on today. And we're hearing that Robert Lee is in line to return to St James's Park as well as Shearer's assistant. So, although it is April the 1st and it was a bit difficult to believe first thing this morning, it looks like that is one of the true stories.
OK, well, let's move on to Gabriel Heinze, who seems to be making a move from Spain back over here. Could this be his 57th club?
It could be, very, very good indeed. In fact, I think it'll be his 4th club if he moves. He went from Old Trafford to Real Madrid. He's had a great season over there in La Liga, but it looks like he will be joining Spurs during the summer as the revolution down there gathers pace. And speaking of footballers, David Beckham has just been named as the world's richest footballer for the 5th time. Career earnings last year, £34.2 million, putting him way ahead of Lionel Messi and Ronaldinho. So not bad from an Essex boy.
Yeah, no real great surprise there as well,
really,
is there?
No.
All right, so from the giddy heights of financial extravagance to clubs in desperate need of some cash.
Yeah, unfortunately, the credit crunch is biting clubs all over the country. Southampton, we believe the shares have been suspended this morning, but 2 famous clubs, Darlington and Clyde, look like they will be going to the wall. Darlington have set a deadline of April the 20th for a new buyer to come into the club, while Clyde look like they're on the verge of eviction from their ground after Lanarkshire County Council wanted to get rid of them. So bad news for them, but we hope the better news will follow.
It's a crazy idea, Mike. All these superstar international footballers who are making millions and millions of pounds every year. Perhaps they could spread some of the love.
Absolutely, I know where you're going. It would be a good idea. That's why I put those 2 items together.
Yeah,
but hopefully Beckham's watching.
Yeah, go on, David. Go on, David. OK, now let's talk about some of the results that took place in the lower leagues.
Yeah, lower league results last night. A quick look at those in League 2. Macclesfield fell to their 5th consecutive defeat, going down 1-0 at Lincoln City. Altrincham lost by the same score in the Blue Square Premier against Ebbsfleet. Northwich Vicks drew 1-1 with Salisbury in the Community Bond Premier Gary Flitcroft has driven Lee Genesis to their first win under his regime, beating Camel Led 2-1. They're still bottom of the league, and I don't think those 3 points will be enough to save them this season. But good news for Flitcroft and everybody at the troubled Lee Genesis club.
OK, moving on swiftly then from the lower leagues to the upper echelons, and England are in action
England
tonight.
are in action tonight. Everybody in England's Group 6 qualifying group are in action. Let's take a quick look. Andorra play Croatia, Kazakhstan play Belarus, getting the games underway at 3:30. England face the Ukraine at Wembley at 8 o'clock. A win for England, who are already on 12 points, will see them go 8 points clear of the nearest challengers. Peter Crouch will lead the England attack with Wayne Rooney and Steven Gerrard likely behind the lone striker as Fabio Capello is forced into a reshuffle. Darren Bent is injured, but Sean Wright should come back in for at least 45 minutes.
A quick note, if you don't mind, mainly because the sort of Capello's injury woes may be a blessing in disguise, only because will that not give Gerrard more of a free rein in the midfield and play where he's playing in Liverpool?
Absolutely, which is something we've been banging on about for, the past 18 months. Give him a free rein. He's the best box-to-box player of our generation. He should be given a free rein there, so let's hope. Capello's watching along with Beckham as well. OK, Manchester Phoenix, and they're having a bit of a rough time at the moment. They have. The season's just finished. They ended with 15 games, I think, in 27 days. The last game was the final playoff game against the Nottingham Panthers, and things did not go according to plan.
You know, it looks like we ran out of gas just at the end here, and you know, the guys played hard all year, and especially this last month. I think we finished up with 15 games in 29 days with 13 skaters, so you know, I'm proud of the guys. They did a great job, and it was unfortunate we couldn't bring some sort of silverware home.
It was 2 great games, 2 great hockey club competing, and I thought it was a great series. We're lucky we came out on the good side of it, but I have to give them credit. What an organization, what a hockey team. They came to work. It was, you know, you guys played a lot of games in the last couple of weeks, and we were fortunate to get a little rest, but at the end, hopefully we could win the Final Four now.
To tell you the truth, I don't think I've ever been this tired in my life. The last 5 minutes of tonight, I was trying to give it my all, and unfortunately, it wasn't all there. And but you know, you take it as it is, and you know, you get ready for next season, wherever we may be. Hopefully, it's back here.
OK, well, coming next, we look ahead to what's happening in tonight's Style in the City, and we'll also be chatting to the stars of the Library Theatre's latest production. But first, before we leave sport this morning, and Mike will be back on Monday, how about some handy tips for all you golfers out there?
Golf tips. Brought to you by Golftorium, Manchester's first indoor golf centre and bar.
Hi, my name's Mark Marriott. Today's tip, what we're looking at, is chipping and running. Most amateurs tend to use too much loft when they chip and run. Loft is the angle of the golf club. Basically, the more loft there is, the more it faces the sky. The less loft it is, the more it faces the target. Chipping and running basically is the green is the perfect surface, the rough or the fringe is not. So we want to go over, land onto the perfect surface and land the golf ball. OK, amateurs for this shot tend to stand much too wide, too far away from the golf ball and pick too much loft. So this is the motion they tend to make. So looking for the correct shot, basically what we're looking to do is pick much less loft. We only want the golf ball to go over in the air for a short period of time and then land and roll. I'm going to stand much closer to the golf ball, so my head's over the golf ball. My feet are much closer together, weight in my left foot. The golf club's going to be a lot more upright, so the toe's going to be on the floor, but the heel's going to be off the floor. And the hands are going to be forward of the golf ball, so the shaft and the left arm are in line with one another. Then all we're going to do is make a pendulum motion and rock the shoulders just like a pendulum. Keep the head nice and still. Pendulum. The loft remains the same, so when the golf ball lands, it'll land and roll. So it goes over the fringe, lands onto the green and rolls. The more often you practice your short game, the better golfer you're going to be.
Golf tips. Brought to you by Golftorium, Manchester's first indoor golf centre and bar.